If you want to understand the science of arms, it's very important that you know the terms and what they mean. I think good science is characterized by this. 1, never use two different terms to describe the same thing. And 2, never use the same term to describe two different things. An offensive action is one that has the capability of inflicting a wound in and of itself. It's important to distinguish that from a preparation, which facilitates the offensive action, but is not itself an offensive action. For example, you may hear people describe a beat attack. Well, that's a sort of verbal shorthand. In fact, what they mean is a beat followed by some offensive action. The beat is not part of the attack. The beat is the preparation. What follows is the attack. We're not speaking poetically here, but using the word attack as a term of art. As it relates to the rapier, the attack is the initial offensive action made by fully and completely extending the arm and continuously and progressively threatening the opponent's target. We can classify offensive actions in accordance with when in the phrase d'armes they occur. The first time of offensive actions is on your opponent's preparation. You initiate an offensive action, which is to say, it is the initial offensive action in the phrase, while your opponent is preparing. We call that the attack. The second time of offensive actions occurs when your opponent initiates an attack and you execute your offensive action during your opponent's attack. We call that the counterattack. The third time of offensive actions is when your opponent initiates the attack and you respond after his attack is spent, either because you parry or avoid the attack. We call that the riposte. Two of these three things are sequential. The attack on the preparation is like playing a melody. The parry and riposte, sequential, like playing a melody. The attack and counterattack happen at the same time, like playing a chord. We can also describe three types of offensive actions. We would always talk about them as the three kinds of attacks, but bear in mind that this could apply to any offensive action. The first kind of attack is the attack by pace. An attack by pace relies on timing and speed for its success. You're faster than your opponent. A combination of how fast you move and how well you time the action means that you basically beat your opponent to the punch. You're able to hit your opponent before he can initiate attack against you. Keep in mind that it is not speed alone, and it is not timing alone. You have to have both to make the attack by pace work. The second type of attack is the attack by force. The attack by force uses superior strength, either physical strength or leverage or the other properties of physics turned against your opponent, using greater strength to make the attack succeed. For example, your opponent's on guard in sixth, you make a straight attack with strong opposition. Your opponent tries to parry using the weak part of his blade because of your superior position, and you overwhelm his defense. The attack by force. The third kind of attack is the attack by fraud, that is, the attack by deception. Or as a student once said, I'm going to pretend I'm going to hit him one place and then I hit him someplace else. So the attack by fraud depends on distracting your opponent, creating an illusion, making your opponent believe that one thing is happening when your intention is really something else. The attack by pace and the attack by force, you make no attempt to disguise the intention or direction of your attack. It's not based on that. But the attack by fraud depends on you disguising your true intentions and creating an illusion for your opponent to believe until it's too late.